today. A State Department spokesman says he feels it is his duty to outline his vision for peace in the Middle East before he leaves office, and that'll include what he believes is the proper path towards a two-state solution between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Now, this is all taking place just days after that highly controversial vote at the United Nations in which the U.S. allowed a resolution to pass condemning Israeli settlements in the West Bank. The Israeli government is continuing to insist that it has hard evidence that the Obama administration helped orchestrate that resolution and vote, and they're now vowing to share that evidence with the incoming Trump administration.
We know that there was deep collusion between the Obama administration and the Palestinians in order to push this United Nations Security Council resolution forward. That is deeply, deeply disappointing because historically America has protected Israel at this very, very biased body.
But yesterday, a spokesman for the State Department rejected Israeli accusations that the U.S. was the driving force behind that resolution.
We did not take the lead in drafting this resolution. That was done by the Egyptians with the Palestinians.
Now, Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes said that the U.S. is not trying to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict through that UN resolution, but that likely does little to calm the concerns of Israelis who will be watching the Secretary of State's speech very closely later today. Lisa and Heather, back to you.
They just continue to escalate over the weekend, for sure.
And it's probably only going to intensify. Thank you so much, Kristen. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Kristen.
And that brings us to Look Who's Talking. And this morning, Fox News contributor Mark Thiessen is slamming the Obama administration, saying Secretary of State John Kerry should not be giving today's speech.
Well, first of all, who cares what John Kerry says? He's a lame duck Secretary of State in a lame duck administration that's going to be out in 3 weeks. If he had a great plan for Middle East peace, he might have tried it 3 years ago, not 3 weeks before he's leaving. And this is a guy who has presided over disaster, an administration that has presided over disaster after disaster in the Middle East, from the rise of ISIS to the resurgence of al-Qaeda and the Taliban in Afghanistan to the massacre of 500,000 people in Syria. So we really don't need his advice. But more importantly, there is a tradition in American politics that after an election, the outgoing administration shows deference to the incoming administration when it comes to major foreign policy decisions. For the Obama administration to come out now and start messing around in the United Nations and saddling the Trump administration with a mess in the Middle East is unprecedented. They're supposed to defer to them. They're going to be out in 3 weeks. They're done.
The timing
Get out of the
this,
way.
Julie,
Be quiet.
Throwing some punches there. Secretary Kerry's speech is set for 11 a.m. later this morning.
Well, the Obama administration could soon be announcing a series of punishments against Russia over its alleged interference in the 2016 presidential election. Citing U.S. officials, the New York Times reports the Obama administration is working to revise a 2015 executive order which gives the president authority to respond to cyber attacks from overseas. But the original mandate does not cover interference in the U.S. electoral system, and the clock is now ticking for the president to establish that authority. Well, the president-elect firing back at President Obama for saying that he could have won a third term if he wanted to.
I'm confident that if I had run again and articulated it, I think I could have mobilized a majority of the American people to rally behind it.
But Mr. Trump says the lame duck Democrat would not have stood a chance since he failed to help Hillary Clinton. Tweeting, quote, President Obama campaigned hard and personally in the very important swing states and lost. The voters wanted to make America great again. Well, this coming as President-elect names Tom Bossert as assistant to the president for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism, and longtime attorney Jason Greenblatt as special representative for international negotiations.
And for the first time ever, a sitting Japanese prime minister and an American president visit the site of the Pearl Harbor attack. But the Japanese leader did not apologize for the 2,403 American lives that were lost.
I offer my sincere and everlasting condolences to the souls of those who lost their lives here.
Last spring, President Obama did not apologize for the atomic bomb when he visited Hiroshima in Japan.
Well, some sad news here. Tributes are pouring in from all around the world as Hollywood mourns the loss of a princess.
You came working? You're braver than I thought.
Nice. Come on.
Star Wars actress Carrie Fisher has died just days after suffering a heart attack.
Jackie Ibanez is here with a look back at her career. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning, Heather and Lisa. Carrie Fisher was literally born to be a star. The only daughter of actress Debbie Reynolds and singer Eddie Fisher, Carrie was just 19 when she played the role that would define her career.
Somebody has to save our skins.
Fisher became a pop culture icon as Princess Leia. She reprised the role in 4 more films, most recently in last year's The Force Awakens.
I can't believe I was so foolish to think I could find Luke and bring him home.
Leia.
Don't do that.
Do what?
Anything.
Now off-screen, Fisher battled drug addiction and bipolar disorder. She opened up about her struggles in her semi-autobiography, Postcards from the Edge, which was made into a movie starring Meryl Streep. Fisher would play dozens of roles over her 4-decade career, including parts in When Harry Met Sally and The Blues Brothers. But for most people, she will always be Princess Leia. She had just finished filming the latest Star Wars movie and was returning home when she collapsed on a plane and stopped breathing. Just 2 days ago, she was in stable condition at a hospital, but multiple reports say she never actually regained consciousness. Harrison Ford, her love interest on and off the screen, said she's one of a kind, calling her, quote, funny and emotionally fearless. She lived her life bravely. Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, said she played such a crucial role in my professional and personal life, and both would have been far emptier without her. And director George Lucas says she was our great and powerful princess, feisty, wise, and full of hope. Carrie Fisher was 60 years old. Heather and Lisa, back to you.
So sad. She was just 60 years old.
Yeah,
way too young.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Well, now to a Fox News alert. 2 strong earthquakes rattling 2 states overnight. A 5.8 magnitude quake was reported near the border of Nevada and California. A second quake happened just minutes later. Now, they could be felt as far away as Sacramento and Carson City. So far, there are no reports of major damage or injuries.
A winter wall strengthening as it heads east. Thousands still without power across the Great Plains as they dig out from a Christmas Day snowstorm.
The system now moving across the Great Lakes towards New England. 50-mile-per-hour winds leaving a trail of destruction near Boston. You can see this tree has completely crushed a home there right in the middle.
Oh, man. And winter storm watch is in effect that could ruin your New Year's Eve plans. You want to listen up here.
No. And Fox News senior meteorologist Janice Dean is here tracking with what we need to know. Janice, I was flying home from North Carolina yesterday and was delayed because of those winds, strong winds at Newark Airport.
Yeah, so that storm thankfully has departed. This next storm is going to be a problem tomorrow and Friday. I think by New Year's Eve we're going to be okay. Look at the temperatures right now, 21 in Minneapolis, 38 in New York. Remember this time yesterday it was like 20 degrees warmer than that. So this storm that you were talking about, Heather, is exiting the coast. We are now watching a storm across the Great Lakes that's going to transfer energy to a coastal low that is going to develop tomorrow and into Friday. So here it is, 9 a.m. Thursday, starting to get into New York, New Jersey, Baltimore, Delmarva here, mainly a rain event. The snow is going to be across interior sections of the Northeast and New England. So by Thursday, still spinning offshore. Again, this is going to be a New England event. So if you live across New England, Massachusetts, Connecticut also could get some snow up towards Vermont and Maine. This is going to be the storm you need to monitor because we could see a big snow dump from the storm system. By Friday, it's offshore, and then quieter conditions as we head into New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So winter weather advisories already posted for this storm system. You can see here, mainly a rain event, we think, across coastal areas, ladies. Interior sections, New England, need to watch this one. This is going to be a nor'easter, what we call a nor'easter, tomorrow and Friday. Back to you.
It's that time of year, though.
It is, my friend. Absolutely.
And important information for viewers. Thank you.
Thanks, Janice. Well, did you hear about this? Malls across the country, they are ramping up security as police say that there's no evidence to link a rash of massive Christmas Day brawls. Police in a dozen states chasing down leads and asking people to turn over cell phone videos to pinpoint the source of the violence. Now, they say that organized social media posts and Snapchat helped spur mass chaos on one of the busiest shopping days of the year. At least 30 people have been arrested as a result of all this.
And that's why I online shop. But the time is 5:10 here on the East Coast. Donald Trump says he has proof that he is already making America great again. The president-elect's latest comments and the evidence, he says, backs him up.
And plus, if you're a Trump supporter, you can't eat here. That's the message one restaurant has to its patrons. The outrage is now boiling over.
And meet the Cowboys fan who just got epic revenge on her ex-fiance for breaking up with her over a text.
And I'm headed out west because I want to be a cowboy, baby. With a Johnny backpack and the sunshine shining. Cowboy,
News alert. The hunt for the last of 6 inmates who broke out of jail on Christmas Day is intensifying by the second. Police still scouring eastern Tennessee for convicted felon 54-year-old David Wayne Frazier at this hour. They say he is dangerous. Frazier and 5 other men escaped an overcrowded jail, known for lax security by ripping a toilet with rusty bolts and nails off the wall. And new overnight, a man with a long rap sheet officially charged in the gruesome murder of an actress from the movie Step Up who vanished on Christmas Day. Police arresting Adrian Dwayne Johnson outside a CVS in D.C. after they say he strangled Trisha McCauley and stuffed her body in a car. Johnson was caught after an employee called 911 saying he attempted to buy baskets full of soap and assaulted her. Police say McCauley and Johnson did not know each other.
Well, police searching for a trio of thieves after they made off with millions in fur coats in New York City. Well, this incredible video showing the crooks smashing the glass door and running inside the Madison Avenue shop on Christmas Eve. Police say that the thieves knew what they were doing, going right for those sable coats. And just one of those coats could cost, listen to this, up to $200,000. That's just for one. A car speeding down the highway encounters a near-deadly disaster over something that no one could have predicted. This heart-stopping dashcam video taken by a driver in the Netherlands captures the moment that a self-driving Tesla slams on the brakes, avoiding a horrific split-second crash. Now, you can see one of the cars flipping over multiple times as the Tesla safely pulls off onto the shoulder, avoiding what could have been a much bigger disaster. So that's a good story about one of the self-driving cars.
Absolutely. And now to a Fox Business alert. U.S. consumer confidence has reached a 15-year high.
Cheryl Casoni from our sister network, Fox Business, here with the president-elect's response.
Yeah, he certainly took some credit, guys. Good morning for that big consumer confidence number that we got yesterday. I want to show you the tweet that he actually put out there. He said the U.S. Consumer Confidence Index for December surged nearly 4 points to 113.7. That is correct, the highest level in more than 15 years. Thanks, Donald, giving himself credit. But frankly, in the survey from the University of Michigan, people said that they felt better about the economy, better about the jobs picture, and a lot of that has to do with the election and the change in leadership at the White House. As you can see on your screen there, that graph shows you the building consumer confidence. This is the best reading that we've had actually since 2001. So consumer confidence, guys, back at pre-financial crisis levels. And this is hopefully a market positive that takes us to Dow 20K today.
Yeah. Not only just record levels of confidence with consumers, but also confidence in the president-elect himself.
Well, absolutely. And he was tweeting just the other day about the $1 trillion in holiday spending and taking credit for that as well.
Yeah, he was as well. He was certainly taking credit for the fact that the economy may be on the mend, but he also has promised to bring jobs back to America. And something else that we're seeing, it's happening here in New York State. Tesla is bringing more jobs back to the United States. They're going to be building a plant here in northern New York State, and it's going to make solar cells. The big excitement about this, 1,400 jobs will be created. This is a combination of Tesla and Panasonic, the two agreeing to the deal. We don't have the financial numbers behind it, but Tesla does say that they will spend about $5 billion in New York State over the next 5 years, and then New York State putting in $750 million as well.
And not even in office yet.
Well, and he sort of tipped his hat to this with the carrier deal as well, that this is something that he would be looking at doing as president-elect.
Well, this last one, before you get to it, really surprised me. Scarlett Johansson, I don't even recall recall what movie she did.
But she's making a lot of money.
Maybe you're not a Marvel Comics fan. I don't know. Because basically what this list has taken is the top global ticket sales for the actors combined. Scarlett Johansson barely coming in at number 1 versus her co-star Chris Evans from Captain America, but she came in with nearly $1 billion in revenues for the global ticket movie market. Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. tying for number 2. Margot Robbie on the list as well, and then Amy Adams. So basically, it's movies that were out up till December 27th.
Interesting.
Global ticket sales are number 1.
All right. Thank you very much, Cheryl.
You bet.
See you back. Well, the time now is about 18 minutes after the top of the hour, and it was one of this year's most popular Christmas gifts.
Alexa, what's on the calendar today? You have 12 events scheduled.
And now Alexa could or can be used to solve a murder mystery. We'll have those details ahead.
And President-elect Trump's cabinet filling up quickly. But nominations are only half the battle. The fight looming over Senate confirmations. And which fight might be the toughest?
Friends, first, the future of the Democratic Party is old. That is according to outgoing Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid when asked if he would support Vice President Biden for president in 2020. He told New York Magazine, quote, "It depends who's running. It appears we're going to have an old folks home. We've got Elizabeth Warren. She'll be 71. Biden will be 78. Bernie Sanders will be 79. If Hillary Clinton ran again, she would be 73.
A little honest truth there, but the email scandal that may have led to her demise this election cycle is already coming back into the spotlight. An appeals court reviving 2 lawsuits against the State Department that argue there was not enough done to restore Hillary Clinton's missing emails. The State Department and National Archives took steps to recover the emails, but they never asked the U.S. Attorney General to take enforcement action.
The President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet is almost full, with only the Secretaries of Agriculture and Veterans Affairs remaining to be nominated, as well as the cabinet-level position of U.S. Trade Representative.
Well, but nominations are only half the battle, because the Senate still gets a say in what could be a grueling confirmation process for some of the nominees.
Yeah, a lot of folks already saying they refuse to cooperate. Fox News chief political correspondent Carl Cameron has the very latest.
While Democrats plan to grill and oppose most of the president-elect's cabinet nominees, Republicans control the majority and have few complaints.
All in all, Trump is going to get virtually everyone that he nominates. It's possible that they'll have to withdraw 1 or 2 because of problems that emerge.
Mr. Trump has tapped 5 members of Congress for his cabinet. First up for confirmation, Alabama Nguyen. She's been both Labor Secretary and Deputy Transportation Secretary in prior GOP administrations and is the wife of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Democrats fume over Trump's choice for Energy Secretary. Former Texas Governor Rick Perry famously vowed to abolish the agency. Likewise, Trump's choice to run the Environmental Protection Agency, Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt, has been a leading critic of EPA efforts to curb carbon pollution and sued to halt increased use of ethanol, which Trump supports. Among those committed to serve the Trump administration are at least 6 multimillionaires, including Steve Mnuchin for Treasury Secretary, and 5 billionaires, including Wilbur Ross for Commerce Secretary. Both are likely to be approved but face strict divestiture requirements to avoid conflicts of interest. And, of course, the president-elect has his own business conflicts of interest to sort out and has promised to explain how he plans to do that before he's inaugurated in 24 days. In Washington, Carl Cameron, Fox News.
Sounds like things could get interesting in Congress next year.
I can't believe it's 24 days out.
It's so crazy. The time is now 5:26 on the East Coast. Putin getting punished? The action the White House is about to take for Russia's alleged election interference.
Plus, we've seen Hillary Clinton after the election out and about in the woods and stuff. But where has Bernie Sanders been? Guess what? We just found him, and you won't believe where.
This year's most popular Christmas gifts, and now the Amazon Echo can be used to solve a murder mystery. Fox and Friends First continues right now.
to you from the streets of New York City. A shot there of the skyline. The sunshine has not come up yet, but we expect that it will rise like it always does.
Exactly.
You're watching Fox and Friends First. I'm Heather Childers.
And I'm Lisa Booth, and it's 5:31 here on the East Coast. Straight to our top story, Israel bracing for yet another potential clash with the Obama administration.
Just hours from now, Secretary John Kerry is set to address the peace process, and tensions reach a fever pitch.
Kristen Fisher is live in our nation's capital with all of the details. Kristen, tell us what's going on here.
Well, the Israeli government is urging the Obama administration to stop what it describes as a diplomatic assault against Israel. First, there was that UN vote last week where the U.S. refused to use its veto power to stop an anti-Israeli settlement resolution. And now, Secretary of State John Kerry is just hours away from delivering this speech where he's expected to outline his vision for ending the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. A spokesman for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's worried that these are all signs that the Obama administration is now racing to put its stamp on the peace process before President-elect Trump takes office.
And we actually believe that this may be the first of another series of pushes before the Obama administration leaves office. And that would be a real travesty if conditions were attempted if conditions were imposed upon Israel which prejudiced the outcome of direct and bilateral negotiations.
The Israeli government is continuing to insist it has hard evidence that the Obama administration orchestrated that UN resolution and vote. They're now vowing to share that evidence with the incoming Trump administration. But yesterday, a State Department spokesman denied the charge and instead pointed fingers at two other nations.
We did not take the lead in drafting this resolution. That was done by the Egyptians with the Palestinians.
Now, when asked why Secretary Kerry is delivering this speech now, that spokesman said he's doing it because he feels it is his duty to do so in his final days as Secretary of State. Lisa and Heather?
Thank you, Kristen. I know I'm going to be watching that speech later today. Yeah. So that brings us to Look Who's Talking. And this morning, the chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp, is slamming the way the president has treated our allies.
Why do you want to be our friend? Why would anybody want to be America's friend when this is how we treat our strongest allies? You have a president who's gone around the globe apologizing to everyone, including apologizing and reaching out his hand to the Castro brothers and to the mullahs in Iran. And that sets a terrible example to the authoritarian leaders across the globe. And then you look at how we treat our friends. And the most disgusting part of this is happening at the tail end of the Obama administration, where basically his third term was denied. And he ought to do the right thing for the country, which is that kind of just manage everything till the new president gets inaugurated and allow the next president to try to build important relationships across the globe. And Obama's doing everything he can to bind President-elect Trump's hands, and it's wrong.
Well, and as we mentioned, Secretary Kerry is set to deliver his speech on the Mideast peace process later today at 11 a.m.
Well, the Obama administration could soon be announcing a series of punishments against Russia over its alleged interference in the 2016 presidential election. Citing U.S. officials, the New York Times reports the Obama administration is working to revise a 2015 executive order which gives the president authority to respond to cyber attacks from overseas. But the original mandate does not cover interference in the U.S. electoral system, and the clock is now ticking for the president to establish that authority. Meantime, the president-elect firing back at President Obama for saying that he could have won a third term if he had wanted to.
I'm confident that if I had run again and articulated it, I think I could have mobilized a majority of the American people to rally behind it.
But Mr. Trump says the lame duck Democrat would not have stood a chance since he failed to help Hillary Clinton, tweeting, quote, President Obama campaigned hard and personally in the very important swing states and lost. The voters wanted to make America great again. This coming as the president-elect names Tom Bossert as assistant to the president for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism, and longtime attorney Jason Greenblatt as special representative for international negotiations.
Tributes continue to pour in as Star Wars fans mourn the loss of their princess.
You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder. Who's scruffy-looking?
So sad. Actress Carrie Fisher has died just days after suffering a heart attack. Jackie Ibanez is here with a look back at her career. Jackie?
Hey, good morning, Lisa. The news is a huge shock. Just 2 days ago, Fisher was in stable condition after collapsing on a plane, but multiple reports say she never regained consciousness. Fisher's role as Princess Leia made her a pop cultural icon.
The tuck. I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash. I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board.
The part in 4 Star Wars movies, most recently in The Force Awakens. She just wrapped filming for the next Star Wars movie. Off-screen, Fisher battled addiction and bipolar disorder, writing about the struggles in her book, Postcards from the Edge. Harrison Ford, her love interest, both on and off screen, called her one of a kind. And her mom, Debbie Reynolds, saying in a statement, quote, "Thank you to everyone who has embraced the gifts and talents of my beloved and amazing daughter." Carrie Fisher was 60 years old. Lisa and Heather.
Definitely a loss.
Yeah.
Way too young. Way too young.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, now to a Fox News alert for you. 2 strong earthquakes rattling 2 states overnight. The first quake was reported near the border of Nevada and California. A second quake happened just minutes later. Well, they could be felt as far away as Sacramento and Carson City. So far, though, no reports of any major damage or injuries, so that's good news.
That is good news. To extreme weather, a winter wall is strengthening as it heads east. Thousands still without power across the Great Plains as they dig out from a Christmas Day snowstorm.
Yeah, the system is now moving across the Great Lakes towards New England. 50-mile-per-hour winds leaving a trail of destruction. This was near Boston. You can see this tree just went right down the middle of a house, crushing that home.
Oh, so scary. And winter storm watches in effect that could ruin your New Year's Eve plans.
Fox News senior meteorologist Janice Dean in the Weather Center tracking what we all need to know. Not ruining New Year's Eve plans, Janice.
We don't think so. This one should be out of here by Friday. That's the good news. Now we're going to have some snow on the ground, blustery conditions for the northeast, but you know the bulk of this nor'easter we're going to be talking about tomorrow through Friday. We do have some unsettled weather across the northwest. That's not out of the ordinary this time of year. We have some lake effect snow across the Great Lakes, but the storm system we're going to be watching is going to develop tomorrow through Friday. Let's take a look at it as we advance our maps, and I'll show you our future cast, our future system. There it is. So moving into Thursday, tomorrow morning, watching this system transfer some of its energy towards the coast, and we have a developing coastal storm and what we call a nor'easter this time of year, where the winds come from the north and east. Interior sections, that's where we could get a bullseye of big-time snow. Coastal areas are going to be mainly a rain event, but it's going to be blustery. So for tomorrow morning's commute, it could be trying for a lot of the I-95 corridor. Let's move ahead, and I'll show you as the system exits Thursday and Friday. Again, New England, you need to be paying attention to your local forecast because we could have a significant snowstorm on our hands Thursday and Friday. But for New Year's Eve, looks pretty good for New York City. Temperatures in the high 80s, or the high 80s. That's wishful thinking. Maybe in Florida, 38 degrees, mostly cloudy skies for New Year's Eve in New York City. Back to you.
Either way, it doesn't sound bad. All right. Thank you so much, Janice.
You got it. Thanks, Janice. And malls across America ramping up security as police say there's no evidence to link a rash of Christmas Day brawls. Police in a dozen states chasing down leads and asking people to turn over cell phone videos to pinpoint the source of that violence. They say organized social media posts and Snapchats helped spur the mass chaos. At least 30 people have been arrested. So crazy.
Well, one of the hottest holiday gifts of the season could help police maybe solve a murder case. Arkansas police reportedly issuing a warrant for information from James Andrew Bates' Amazon Echo device. Well, Bates is accused of strangling and drowning a man in his hot tub. Now, the Amazon Echo, it includes an electronic personal assistant, if you don't know, that responds to voice commands, and it is always listening for its wake word, Alexa. Amazon is refusing to hand it over, though. Well, 2 off-duty firefighters go above and beyond the call of duty when a man suffers a heart attack at the Patriots game. John Toomey and Jim Crocker jumping into action just moments at Gillette Stadium on Christmas Eve.
You could hear yell to his father saying, you know, Dad, wake up, what's wrong?
There was no pulse. We immediately got him out of the seat onto the ground, and we performed compressions and started CPR.
Thanks to all that, the man is now recovering at home. The firefighters saving him, they say that it was like winning the Super Bowl. Good for them.
Well, some sports headlines. The Buffalo Bills are in the market for a new head coach.
Yeah, Rex Ryan fired after less than 2 seasons on the job. He posted a 15-16 record with the Bills. His brother Rob Ryan also fired as defensive coordinator.
And LeBron James bringing home another title to Cleveland. LeBron was named the Associated Press Male Athlete of the Year. He helped the Cavs win the city's first sports championship in 52 years. James beat out Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt.
Wow, Usain Bolt there. And Army capping off an excellent football season with a big bowl game win. The Black Knights beating North Texas in overtime in the heart of Dallas Bowl. Final score 38-31.
And meet the Dallas Cowboys fan who just got sweet revenge on her ex-fiancé. I love this. The woman holding up a sign that says, "My fiancé dumped me in a text message. He should have waited until after Christmas." That's because she bought him tickets to Monday night's game between the Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. She used the tickets anyways and watched her team win big. 42-21, revenge.
Good for her. I think there were 2 winners there, not just the Cowboys. Good job. Well, the time now is about 15 minutes until the top of the hour. And if you're a Trump supporter, you can't eat here. That is the message one restaurant has for its patrons. And the outrage is boiling over.
Plus, the money moves to make before the new year. What you need to know coming up next.
And friends, first, Amazon is having the best holiday ever. More than 1 billion items shipped around the world as consumer confidence climbs to a 15-year high. We heard Cheryl Casoni talking about that. Well, the top seller this year for them, the Amazon Echo. But it's no surprise that so many people bought gifts through Amazon. New report found that Americans are more upbeat about the economy than they have been in years. Lisa?
It was the must-have kids gift this Christmas, but some parents are saying that the Hatchimals ruined their holiday. Several angry customers complaining that the toys did not hatch and that company Spin Master won't help solve their problems. The Barbie Hello Dream House also causing holiday headaches. Some parents complaining the $300 smart toy won't open its doors and has wireless network issues. Uh-oh.
I think a lot of people can relate to that, whether you're in a Barbie dream house or not.
I had one when I was younger.
Not for $300 though. The new year, it is almost here, and that means that there are just a few days left to make some financial changes before the tax season starts.
Cheryl Casoni from her sister network, Fox Business, is here with tips to help set yourself up for success in the new year. Cheryl?
It doesn't sound so much fun before New Year's Eve, right? But it is the end of the year, and that means that you have until Friday to make some major changes in your financial life, especially when it comes to your taxes. Whether you need to sell a loser in your stock portfolio to help offset the gains in your winning column or do some last-minute charitable giving, now's the time to do it, like today, frankly. Also, experts say if you want to get a head start on your plans for next year, create a budget by writing down your projected earnings for next year, then subtracting housing, food, car costs to figure out what you can spend and what you can save for next year. Also, scan and shred all your paperwork you don't need now, especially old tax returns from 5 years ago or older. That's my general rule. Also, review your credit report, investment choices, and your flexible spending account choices. You can roll over, by the way, this is a new rule, roll over $500 of your FSA account, I can't even say it straight, from this year over to next year, which is a good thing. That's new. And then finally, declutter your home and donate. Those are the best things to do. And then change your passwords. Kind of need to do that all the time now. Make a will if you haven't already, and then update your beneficiary information, especially at your job and for your bank account. So if, God forbid, ladies, something happens to you, we're all young, but that your 401k and your Schwab accounts, all that would go to who you want it to go to.
Yeah, Cheryl, I just want to know how many days are left in your year, because that's a long list.
I kind of already did a few.
Not speaking,
but I did.
The time is now 5:48 on the East Coast, and coming up, Michael Moore now leading the charge against our president-elect. His plan to stop Trump just revealed.
But first, let's check in with Pete Hegseth to see what is coming up on Fox and Friends this morning. Hope you had a great holiday so far, Pete.
I definitely did. Thank you, Lisa and Heather. Well done this morning. Yeah, lots coming up on Fox and Friends. Of course, the latest on the UN vote condemning Israeli settlements, what John Kerry and others might say about the future. There's some shocking stuff that we're going to unpack on Fox and Friends. We've also got Larry Sabato. He's here with his 27 2017 political predictions. Who knows what's coming in the new year? Ed Klein is here on what, if anything, President Obama is going to try to do to potentially create a shadow government in Washington, D.C. to fight Donald Trump from day one. There's some interesting stuff there. And we're counting down the craziest stories, and there are some insane ones, from college campuses in 2016. So from UN resolutions to college campuses, lots of insanity on Fox and Friends coming up. Stick with us.
Chaos there, a major security scare at Trump Tower. People sent running for their lives as police investigated a suspicious package near the president-elect's home yesterday. Turns out it was a child's backpack filled with toys. After the all clear, incoming press secretary Sean Spicer took to Twitter writing, "Thanks NYPD," to which New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio spokesperson joked, "No problem, we'll send you the bill." That's not that funny, is it? Earlier this month, the mayor asked the feds to pay for increased security in the city.
All hands on deck. Michael Moore still not accepting Mr. Trump's win and is listing a 5-step process to challenge his administration. Now, the controversial liberal filmmaker is urging Americans who are still in shock to just brush themselves off and get to work. Moore suggests forming a, what he calls, rapid response team to stand up to the Trump administration. You can't eat here. A restaurant riling up residents, telling people who voted for our president-elect, find somewhere else to eat. This bright yellow handwritten sign plastered on the front door at Cafe 8.5 in Honolulu, Hawaii, reading, "If you voted for Trump, you cannot eat here. No Nazis." Some calling the sign racist and hate-filled. You think? Well, the owners now downplaying it, though, saying that everyone is welcome, but the sign is staying up.
Doesn't sound very welcoming. Remember the viral photo of Hillary Clinton recuperating from a rough election season on a hike near her New York State home? Well, her former rival, Senator Bernie Sanders, was also spotted in the wild, sampling cheddar cheese at Costco. And it makes sense that he was spotted there, since the self-proclaimed socialist loves the idea of paying for things in bulk. You know, like education and health care.
Oh, yeah. Good one. Well, the time now is about 6 minutes until the top of the hour. And the best boss ever, what one man did that is going to make you wish that he was your boss.
And meet the dog who ruined Christmas? Well, you'll never guess why.
The dog days are over. The dog days are
Before you leave the house, here's what's happening for you today. Israel bracing for yet another potential clash with the Obama administration. At 11 a.m., Secretary of State John Kerry set to address the Mideast peace process as tensions reach a fever pitch. Americans are more upbeat this morning than they've been in years, and Mr. Trump cheering the news on in a tweet saying this. The U.S. Consumer Confidence Index for December surged nearly 4 points to 113.7, the highest level in more than 15 years. Thanks, Donald. And here's a live look at Times Square, where security is already increasing ahead of New Year's Eve. Over 1 million people expected to ring in the new year at the crossroads of the world. And now it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Up first, the good. He might be the best boss ever. The CEO of an Iowa cabinet company taking his workers on a Caribbean cruise, all 800 of them. Gary Birch says it's a reward for meeting sales goals this year. And the bad, talk about a food coma. This greedy little dog ate her family's entire Christmas turkey dinner. The pooch collapsing on the floor, unable to move after the feast. But he is alive and well. And finally, the ugly Cinnabon, now at the center of some major controversy for a less than tasteful tweet about the late Carrie Fisher. The dessert maker posting this tweet that read, quote, "R.I.P. Carrie Fisher, you'll always have the best buns in the galaxy." It was quickly deleted and followed up with an apology saying that it was meant as a tribute to her iconic Star Wars hairstyle. And that's what's happening so far this morning. I'll see you back at America's Newsroom 9 to 11 a.m. In the meantime, Fox and Friends starts right now. Bye.